It's not good to just sit in your trauma.
Trauma's kind of good.
Success is the best form of revenge. Constant growth and constant change and like human development throughout your life is what life is about. It's all about like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's what makes you into the person that you are.
If something bad is happening in your life, like that means there's something that you need to fix.
No, you need to go outside, look at the sun, and like move your body. Like you need to sun gaze in your eyes, and you need to, back in like caveman times, in like Homo sapien times, we had to get up, we had to walk and move to go find food. Confidence is the most attractive thing.
There's a difference between being skinny because you don't eat and being skinny because you work out.
Yes, we're getting plastic surgery in high school. My whole life is one big synchronicity.
The dark side of the force is more powerful.
I guess. I just hope and pray that those people that do that don't actually have long-term success.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, and first of all, thank you to all of our listeners out there. We've been getting a ton of engagement over the last couple weeks, and we got to thank you guys for that. Today, we got a special guest for the show. This is Alivia.
Hi, I'm Alivia Levy. I'm an actress and a filmmaker, and I'm an Aquarius.
I have had a few experiences with Aquarius.
Oh, yeah? What do you think?
Very, very fun. Never end well. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Bad for my mental health. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Toxic, I think, is the word that comes to mind.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Not you, just all the other Aquarius in the world. Yeah.
I feel like, a healed Aquarius is maybe different from a non-healed Aquarius, but also like so many other factors that go into that and play into that. Mm-hmm. Like your rising sign, your moon sign, like that can make you so different.
Mm-hmm. Are you a healed Aquarius?
I'm trying.
I see. Does your trauma come from the LA dating scene or?
No, I feel like actually my trauma comes from mostly like my childhood, and then, yeah, I think mostly from my childhood, like family stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, we can get into it a little bit for sure. Yeah.
What happened?
Oh. Well, I'm actually writing a script right now about family and like mental health and what you can do with the tools that you have when you're growing up, because obviously when you're growing up you look at your parents and you're like, you're my superhero, like you can do anything and everything because you're my parent, and then you realize that they're also just human beings that are literally just going through life and this experience for the first time ever, and there's just a lot to unpack with that because they have their own mental health struggles. And yeah, it basically was just a lot of feeling unseen, I feel like, from my family's perspective. Each person felt very unseen in what they were going through, and that kind of came out in different ways, whether it be like just, animosity or like depression or just what comes with feeling unseen.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of the reason you do acting and modeling? Because it's an industry where you are seen, where the purpose of it is to be seen to some extent.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really good question because not a lot of people assume that already.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was younger, I started doing musical theater because I felt like it gave me the place to just take up space and just like go be
a huge nerd.
Weird, yeah. And like it wasn't cool to be in the drama program where I'm
from.
I
know. It wasn't anywhere, I don't think.
Like I don't know why, because it's so interesting, but I kind of know why. I feel like it has to do with like other people's egos. In the drama program, people are usually like very eccentric and cool and like they know who they are, and I think that they're not uncomfortable being that. And so when you're in high school and most people don't know who they are, you look at that and you're like, that's so triggering, that's weird. You're like, I hate that. These people are on stage and they're taking up all this space and they're playing characters and like doing all these weird things. And I feel like a lot of people that are mean to those types of people actually just want to be in that position. Like they secretly just want that too. And so it comes out in like, you're so weird. Why are you doing this? Like, this is so strange. And then, later on when I grew up, like a lot of those people were curious same old story. Like, how do you get into the modeling industry? This is amazing that you've done this. And like, it's interesting when the narrative switches and then people want to be your friend and they want to be a part
You're
of
like,
it.
Wait, you didn't want shit to do with me in high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Where was that energy? Where was that energy 5 years ago?
I could have used that validation back then, but like,
Yeah.
also it helped me, not seek out validation in other people, like to validate myself and to validate what I really wanted to do, and like to trust my own intuition and not trust what everybody else was saying.
It is strange now that I'm thinking about it that, okay, sports, there's celebrities, everybody sees them on the TV. And partly because of that, the sports kids are like the cool kids of high school, typically.
Yeah.
But like theater, like actors are also very famous and very like
Yeah.
sought after. But for some reason, the theater
don't know.
department is not the cool kids.
I feel like the sports was always just like, especially my school, there were insane athletes. Like, oh my gosh, some of the best people. One of the football players went to go play for like a huge team. He got drafted and now he's a linebacker for Cal. Like he literally is killing it. And that's not an uncommon story from where I'm from. So I feel like, and all the funding would always go towards the sports, and they always had like new things and like new fields, new different like gear and stuff like that. And I think it was just ingrained in society, just like the jocks are the hot guys, like the people that play sports are the cool people, and it's just so ingrained that I think reprogramming that. Now I feel like it's cooler to be a theater kid. Like now I look at the kids that are younger and I'm like, dang, you guys are so lucky, because I feel like now with TikTok and social media, it is cool to want to be an artist, and it is cool to like take up that kind of space.
Yeah, I think Glee changed a lot of that.
Loved that show.
And then I think just Gen Z culture in general being very accepting toward people. I think sometimes a little too accepting.
Yeah.
But
they're like,
yes.
whatever. My sister is 17 and she is the most Gen Z person I know. Like she is, I love her. Like she's such a little pistol, and like everything that comes out of her mouth is verbatim TikTok audios, just every second she can get. It's a part of her vocabulary now. But I feel like there's so many new trends and so many new things that they're being programmed to what you're saying, like just take it all in, and that's also causing like so much overstimulation for them. But
it's crazy. Here's my therapy story for you.
Yay.
I've never been to therapy because I'm a guy, so it doesn't really work for me.
We need to fix this. This is what we need to fix.
Well, so I have a different strategy that works for, I don't know what it's like for girls. Obviously, you guys have more hormones and different chemicals in your brains, whatever.
Yeah.
But for guys, there's a secret strategy that is better than therapy. It takes 5 minutes to do. You can use any mirror in your house, bedroom mirror, bathroom mirror, and you look at yourself in the mirror, into your own eyes, and then you take your emotions and you stuff them deep down your psyche.
No!
And then you man up and fix the problem.
Literally,
like a man.
no. I'm so sorry that you feel like that. That's so awful. I feel like that's not what we should be doing.
No. We need a little bit more of that nowadays. A little bit more.
But doesn't that make you feel unseen? Like, to not feel like you can take up that space and talk about the things that are really like pushed down in there.
See, the problem that I have with it is, okay, I grew up with a very old school father, right? So I remember one day I was 5 years old, I'm riding my bike around town, fall off my bike, I bruised my knee, right? And so I come in, I'm crying, Daddy, my knee hurts, blah, blah, blah. And he looks at me and he goes, good thing you're tough. And he walks away, right?
Wow.
And anytime we would complain or whine, oh, they're making fun of me at school. Oh, this is too hard. My dad, good thing you're tough. Walk away. And it taught me that, okay, Zach, there's going to be difficult things in life. You're going to have problems. Life is not always easy. You're going to have to learn to deal with those problems and also deal with the emotions that come with those problems. And it taught me to solve problems instead of make myself feel better about a problem that still exists.
Okay, I could see that. I feel like that's a really good outlook on that experience, but I feel like that experience has obviously stayed with you to this day.
So girls always tell me, but I don't know.
Yeah. And like usually when that happens, it's because it was a pivotal experience in your life that really shaped you into who you are today. And I agree with you. Like, it's not good to just sit in your trauma and woe is me, I am the victim, like, why is this all happening to me? I think you're right that you do need to figure out how to get through it, for sure. But I believe in feeling all of those emotions and feeling through them, and then saying, okay, this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me, and obviously this is happening for me, so I can do the work and move through it. And like, that's how I try to move through those traumatic experiences. Because, for example, a lot of people told me I've always been super emotional, super like, I'll cry at any moment. Like, but
you
like,
don't come off like that.
Really?
You come off kind of logical and.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No one's. You just met me. I'm
You're like, just you wait.
No, literally,
You're like, I'll be crying by the end of the episode.
I might be like, I will just have random spurts, even like happiness. Mostly it is happiness, but they'll just like come pouring out of my face. And I think it's so beautiful. When I was younger, I used to cry all the time, and there were multiple people in my life that would be like, laugh, just be like, why are you crying? Like, just laugh at me crying. And I realized later on that that was actually a projection, because those people felt like they couldn't cry. Those people felt like they couldn't allow themselves, or like didn't even have the ability to let themselves cry. And I had, conversations with those people later on in life. And it just made me feel like, okay, I was the catalyst of your growth. Like, me crying and me taking up that emotional space triggered your ego. And you, again, thought that was so weird, thought that that was funny. Like, people's reaction when they laugh is just because they're uncomfortable. And so it really was so telling to me. And like, I'm grateful that that happened to me now, because I feel like now I can see very transparently when that happens.
So do you think, because that's a good example of, okay, you had like this traumatic experience. But now, because of that, you're able to read people better, and you're able to see the psychology behind people, right?
Totally.
And that's kind of what I think is like, I think trauma is kind of good. Like, I kind of want more trauma.
Yeah, like, put me fucking through it.
Yeah,
like I want to be a hero's journey. Like,
like, for example, the first girl I ever dated, I was very shy and awkward around girls back when I was growing up and stuff. And then I had my fuckboy villain era.
Yeah, you got to go from one pendulum to the other.
Yeah, but it wasn't my fault. And then I moved on. Now I've matured out of that stage to the final stage of evolution, I
love it. That's amazing. I mean, what happened?
So, okay. There was this girl, right? I was so desperate for a girlfriend in high school, because I was so shy, and everybody made fun of me because my family was poor and like all this stuff, right?
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. My junior year, my friend comes up to me, says, hey, this girl Julie wants you to ask her to prom. And I'm fucking pumped. I'm like, dude, if I can get a girlfriend, I'll finally have a girlfriend, and then everybody will stop the rumor that I'm gay, and then everything will be great, right?
Oh my gosh.
So we start dating, right? And I'm just like, don't fuck this up, Zach. Don't fuck this up, right? So I become the most simp, best boyfriend award guy, nice guy ever, right? I used to literally, this is going to make you cringe, I would wake up at 6 a.m. every Monday, and I would drive to the Walmart between our houses, and I would pick up a package of the purple Skittles, because that was her favorite, like, Skittles flavor, and some flowers, and I would write a little note and like leave it on her doorstep for her to find. Like, real simp shit, yeah.
Why would that ever make anyone cringe? That's like the sweetest, most intentional thing.
It's so
No, that's
okay,
like
we're gonna get back to flowers
thing.
after this story. I'm gonna get back to flowers. Okay. So I do that for 3.5 years. And all my friends are like, Zach, she's not good for you. She's like controlling, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we're in love, blah, blah, blah. So 3.5 years later, we're both in college.
A lot of high school time together. Like 3.5 years is all of your whole high school.
No. Well, it started junior year, that went into college.
Oh, okay.
Then, yeah. So one day, my buddy gives me a call. He's like, yo, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I'm at a party last night. I saw Julie there. She goes into a room with another guy. They're in there for like 40 minutes. Everybody's saying they hooked up, right? And I'm like, no, we're in love. She would never do that to me. We're in true love, blah, blah, blah. So the next day, I drive all the way to her college to confront her, right? And I still remember standing in front of the door. I was like shaking. And she opens the door. And the second she opened the door, I knew that it was true. because she didn't say, "Oh my God, you surprised me. Wow." She was kind of like, "What are you doing here?" Kind of like that. And the weird part was how nonchalant she was about it. Where I'm like bawling my eyes out. And she's just, "Yeah, I mean, it happened. I did it." And the guy she cheated on me with was this guy that she would always complain about. "He's such an asshole. He's hooking up with 2 of my friends behind their backs and not telling them, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, this guy is the guy you cheated on me with? And so
Of course.
The last thing I said to her, I still remember the last thing. I was like, "Julie, I would do anything to make you happy. I just want to know why." And I remember she literally shrugged her shoulders like this. And she goes, "I just got bored." And that moment, I was like, I will never be this fucking simp, pushover, loser ever again in my life. So the next 8 years, I started waking up at 6 a.m. and fucking grinding on my YouTube channel so I could, become rich and they could never call me poor again.
Yes.
And then I became a huge asshole, sociopath, narcissist, fuckboy.
Whatever.
And fucked as many girls as possible so I could never get hurt by
Honestly, slay. Good for you.
Yeah. So then 8 years later, it took that long for my YouTube channel to blow up. I was making good money, moved to LA, get the mansion, get the convertible, right, all this stuff.
The whole dream.
And so I found my ex on Instagram and I followed her. And she followed me back. So that night, I posted all these stories. Mansion with all these models, car, blah, 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 all that shit. LA life
Hell
shit,
yeah.
right?
Hell yeah.
And she unfollowed
Redemption.
me.
Ooh.
So I knew that it kind of like hit her, right?
Yeah, it worked.
So the next day, I drive to the Walmart and I buy a package of purple Skittles and I take a picture of them. And I DM her a picture of the purple Skittles and then I say, "Thank you for making me the man that I am today." And then underneath, the last toxic thing I did, "So I can get girls who are way hotter than you and your big nose," fire emoji. And that moment cured all my trauma. My inner child is now healed.
It was released.
It was just like, it was honestly, it felt so good.
Did she ever reply?
No, she blocked me after
She blocked
that.
you.
On all platforms, yeah.
What
Even
a
like
coward.
TikTok and shit.
What a coward. What a coward. She couldn't face it.
Couldn't face it.
I mean, honestly, like, success is the best form of revenge.
No, that's not true.
What do you think it is?
Hooking up with other girls.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I mean, if that's your form of success, like, hell yeah. Like, yeah. And also just proving to her that she took you for granted. Mm-hmm. And like, okay, so sorry that you were bored. Maybe you should do some inner work to figure out why you were bored with like the best possible boyfriend that you could have had. Good luck.
Yeah, but
like, you want to be with the asshole.
Yeah. But the point of this story is, yes, that was a traumatic experience. Although I don't consider that real trauma. That's kind of like fake trauma. But it's trauma that made me into a better person.
Yeah.
And I think all trauma is just learning. And it teaches you, hey, and the truth was, I was a very boring individual. So she said she got bored, and I could get mad at her for saying I was boring. But the reality was, I was extremely boring back then.
Really?
And so I had to really work on my sense of humor. Yes.
Okay.
I was like, nice guy. Oh, yes, babe. Anything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do have to respect yourself in the relationship too, and know your boundaries. And like, if it's not mutual and she's not putting in as much effort as you're putting in, then no way. Like, it should be mutual always. And so I think that's dope. Like, you literally blew up your YouTube account. You created all of this success around you. Like, and she's probably going to regret that decision until she leaves this earth.
Possible.
That's crazy.
But that's why I'm scared to go to therapy. What if I go to therapy?
Or maybe you'll end up together again one day.
Hell no. Hell no. But that's it. What if I go to therapy?
Yeah.
They take away all my trauma, and then I'm just happy all the time. Like, that would suck.
Well, I feel like you're never going to fully always be happy all the time. Like, life is definitely going to throw things at you throughout your life to where maybe you look back on your trauma and you say, dang, that was kid shit. This is real. Like, this is really traumatic. And I feel like it's never ending. But like, to your point, constant growth and constant change and like human development throughout your life is what life is about. It's all about like the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what makes you into the person that you are. And that's what's made you into the person that you are. Like, with this whole podcast and the whole YouTube channel, like, you may have not done that if it wasn't for that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. Why like, I don't think therapy's good for guys.
So do you think it's because it's like they need to experience more, like be more hands-on than with your words?
Yeah, it's like if something bad is happening in your life, like that means there's something that you need to fix. And I think therapy makes you feel better about the problem that still exists, but I don't think therapy fixes the problem. So then, okay, maybe in the therapist's office, you feel good, you know, you go through all, they talk about it, you get it off your chest, but then you go back into real life, and then it's like, that problem's still there. And it's still going to stress you out, and it's still going to be something that's kind of weighing you down.
Yeah. I feel like, have you ever been in therapy? Like, have you ever been in therapy?
Yes, but not my therapist.
What do you mean?
Okay, so here's the other therapist story.
Oh.
So I was dating this OnlyFans girl.
Oh, here we go. Here we fucking go.
And she like went to therapy for like anxiety and stuff like that. And after like 6 months of therapy, she's still going to therapy. She's the same. Like, no, she still has anxiety. She still has all these things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a therapist. I have 0 degree in therapy. But I can tell you 100% why she had anxiety. Because every morning she'd wake up, she'd take her vape in one hand and her phone in the other hand, and she's looking at TikTok 2 inches from her eyeballs in fucking bed and sucking in nicotine like it's oxygen.
Dude, no.
And I'm like, it's not because your mom, when she gave you a hug when you were little, she squeezed you too tight. Like, that's not why you have trauma. Like, your trauma is from fucking this every day for 4 hours. It's like
self-induced.
Yeah.
I feel like with addiction, people are not willing to look at that in the face.
100%.
Like, they want to almost put it off as something else. That's a huge problem in today's society, is everyone is doing that. Everyone is doing that. I don't sleep with my phone in my room. I literally don't do that. Yeah, I don't even want it in my room, because I know the nights that I have had it in my room, I will pick it up immediately and go on my email and go on my auditions and like start doing all these things. No, you need to go outside, look at the sun, and like move your body. Like, you need to sun gaze in your eyes, and you need to, back in like caveman times, in like Homo sapien times, we had to get up, we had to walk and move to go find food. And like, this is the circadian rhythm. You wake up with the sun, you look at the sun, you go find food, you move your body, you find food, you eat, and then all the stimulation comes, like, of today's society. So I try to make that routine for myself every morning, because when I do that, I'm so much happier. And I also like have anxiety, and I don't have anxiety when I do that, because I've created such a nice little time for my cortisol levels to lower. I drink water, I eat, and like, then I go do all the things I need to do. So people like that, I feel like they need to have a real conversation with themselves and be like, I am the problem.
Well, especially because, so she told her therapist that I'd said that. And so the next week, she's like, hey, my therapist wants you to come into our next session. And I'm like, oh,
You're like, fuck me. Why the fuck did I do that?
I know. So I go into this dude's office, and the whole time, the first half an hour, he's telling me how I'm the reason for her anxiety. I'm causing trauma in her life, like all this stuff. He's kind of like shitting on me, right? And halfway through the session, I kind of realize, I think this dude's trying to fuck my girlfriend. So I storm out of the office. I'm like, fuck this. And she starts running after me. She's like, what are you doing, Zach? I'm like, your therapist is trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
And she goes, Zach, first of all, he's not my therapist. He's my energy healer. And I was like, he's not even a real therapist?
You're like, bro, he's healing your energy. How? Like, what's going on?
Walmart brand therapist is trying to fuck my girl?
That's crazy.
Like, what is even an energy healer? Like, what are your credentials?
Right.
You
like,
get
what
struck
exactly
by lightning and now
you
you're an energy healer? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, that's actually insane.
Yeah.
What, like, obviously you're not together anymore.
We are not together, yeah.
What did you say? Like, did she ever realize that that's what was going on?
I mean, she denied it,
but I'm sure she was an OnlyFans girl. Like, she was hot. I'm sure all these guys wanted to fuck her all the time.
Probably, yeah.
So, like, does she know that? Was she aware of that?
This is one thing that, because I have a very good read on people, and to me, it's very obvious when you have a guy. Have you heard of an orbiter? So they kind of like, you friend zone them. It's a guy, but he's kind of like, the Earth orbits around the sun. He's kind of waiting for his opportunity. He's waiting for, that one night you're a little bit tipsy, you're arguing with whatever guy you're seeing, and you're gonna finally see like a Taylor Swift song.
Oh my
He's the
God.
one, and they will finally fall in love and have a family together.
Is this how guys' brain works?
Some guys. This is like it's like a dating strategy for like the two nice guys that are scared to make a move kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. That makes so much sense. I feel like I've seen that so many times. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely think men and women can be friends.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a category of like I have friends who are girls who like, I think they're hot. Mm-hmm. I would fuck them.
Yeah, you're like, I'm attracted to you, but like we're friends.
But yeah, but also like I'm not like making a move on them. I'm not happy being friends with them. And if we're just friends the rest of our life, okay, cool. Like I have other girls, it's fine. It's
right, exactly, deal, exactly. I feel like it's human nature to be like I mean, you can find people attractive. Like you can look at your favorite celebrity crush and be like, yeah, I'm attracted to you. Mm-hmm. Like, if I met you, like, would I be okay with being friends? Yeah, like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's very normal to just be attracted to, like, other humans. That's very animalistic. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, you don't have to make every single attraction, like, something.
Yeah.
And also, like, you can be attracted to somebody's energy. And maybe then you're supposed to be friends. You're not supposed to be, like, partners. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be friends.
Mm-hmm. What are you attracted to? What's your type? Let's do looks first, physical first.
Well, I have a boyfriend, and he is insanely smart. Like, he is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
You make him sound like he's ugly.
He's so not out. He's beautiful.
Okay. You can't start with,
because
he's really smart.
That's what's important to me.
Okay.
Like, I'm sapiosexual. I think that's what it's called. When you're attracted to people's intellect, that's what I'm attracted to. So, like, when people always ask me, yeah, like, what's your type? Like, what do you think? I've never really known what to say because I feel like my whole life it's always been kind of different. But I really just like people that are silly and like can make me laugh, but also have really in-depth conversations with me to where we can just like talk about everything under the sun. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that really shows so much confidence within people, and like confidence is the most attractive thing. But there's a fine line there. Like I also think being humble, like you can be confident and humble, and I think that's the best mix in like a human being. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if I had to name like my celebrity crush, like it would probably be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
That's
so conventionally good looking.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like it's not about the way that he looks.
It's how he carries himself.
He's so talented, and like he chooses all of the right films. He's very particular with the projects he works on. Like I can tell that he respects himself as an artist, and yeah, I feel like that's also just people that take care of themselves, I think is very attractive. Like working out, eating well, working towards longevity of life is like the most attractive thing. So usually I find people that are like physically fit, attractive.
Yeah, working out is something. I mean, my dad was a gym teacher growing up, so that's part of it. I grew up playing sports and all that stuff.
That's interesting.
But it's definitely something that I think is extremely important long term, because people don't realize like someone could be fit now just because they have a great metabolism because they're 22.
Yes, exactly, like genetics.
Yeah, and I know a lot of girls very attractive just eat McDonald's all day, never work out, and it's just like they just the fucking body sheds it. It's crazy.
That's disgusting. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're choosing to put all of that into your body, also your body is your temple. Like, please focus on what you're nourishing your body with, because that's how people get autoimmune disorders, disease, like same with the nicotine things, like stuff like that. It's just, it shows more about your personality and who you are and like what's important to you. Are you willing to do the work, and are you willing to like get up every day, go take care of your body, go work out, like get your heart rate up? Or are you willing to just like take the shortcut and go on Ozempic or like whatever it may be, starve yourself and smoke all the time, like, because that'll also make you look very thin, or like beauty standards wise. You can accomplish that, but then in the long run it catches up with you every time.
I mean, a lot of girls, their diet is just Molly and avocado toast.
Yeah, that's actually insane. Like the butcher's daughter.
Right.
Like that's it.
Crazy,
just one avocado toast a day, and they're like
skinny as fuck and probably like so unhealthy on the inside.
That's so sad.
Well, the other thing too is there's a difference between being skinny because you don't eat and being skinny because you work out.
Yes.
And the body shape is noticeably different.
Totally. I feel like I've been in both seasons of my life for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I feel like a lot of girls have struggled with like eating, like disordered eating and things like that. And when I was a little kid, I was like super overweight. Like oh yeah.
Actually, that doesn't surprise me.
Thank you. Yeah. I take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, actually.
Okay, were you
I'm
also
surprised you
overweight?
know that it's a compliment.
Yeah, I've done a lot of healing on this.
I see.
I've done a lot of healing. I feel like it made me have to focus on my personality. It made me have to like work on the way that I talk to people and like, you know, feel comfortable with that and not comfortable with this, like not focus on this because this is not real. Like we are in an avatar. Like we are talking from the soul. Like we are talking from the spirit. We're not talking from this. This will all fade one day and it won't be there anymore. And I think that mentality really helped me. But now I kind of feel a little bit imposter syndrome, like being a whole model, full-time actress model, like filmmaker, and looking at photos of myself sometimes and being like, that's not me. Like there's no way. Like 11-year-old, 12-year-old me who was like, yeah, like where are the burritos at? Like I am fucking down to just like eat whatever, like Chuck E. Cheese, like let's go. And I just can't even believe it now. Like it doesn't make any sense. But
did you have like a moment where you're like, fuck this, I'm getting in shape? Or did you just kind of mature, like you hit puberty and you kind of
a little bit of both. But like I remember being 13 and going for summer vacation, and that's kind of when like a little bit of the disordered eating happened for me. I feel like a lot of girls 13, 14, like it starts to happen. And I was just sick of it. And I was like, I want to be a cool girl. Like I want the cool girls to like me, and I want the boys that I like to like me, and I don't care. Like I'm just not going to eat. And I also grew like 5 inches in a summer. It was the craziest thing. So I came back and everyone at my school genuinely looked at me and they were like, oh my God, we have a new girl? Like there's a new girl at our school.
Like I used to sit next to you in math class. The fuck?
Yeah. And I grew up in a very affluent, like privileged area, even though my family wasn't, kind of similar to yours, like wasn't as much so. And people were, you know, given Raptors for their 16th birthday, like just the most insane thing. And they really cared about the way that you looked. And people were getting plastic surgery in high school and like all this stuff. Oh my God, it was insane. It was insane. But yeah, I came back and I was like, oh, it worked. Everyone likes me now. Like, great. I love it. Amazing. But that only lasted for so long because then I realized that I didn't actually want to be friends with those people at all. And then I started really getting into a good relationship with fitness when I was like, this is unattainable. This is unattainable. I can't do this where I'm starving myself anymore. Like I'm going to faint. Something's going to happen. And so I started working out, and it was like a slow growth thing. But now I feel I can't live a life without working out. Like I do it more for my mental health than anything else now.
Yeah, that's what if I'm like the whole therapy conversation.
Yeah,
I just go to the gym.
No, honestly, yes.
That shit works.
Yes. Like I love to run now. I used to hate it, but I love the meditative process of running, and like you process through so many things and so many thoughts. And I think working out is like one of the best forms of free therapy. Like
that's why I don't do any downers. I don't do any. I don't smoke weed. I don't.
You
do
don't?
All these things.
Not ever.
No.
Like you're not just like I want to. Like I think an intentional moment with weed is good, but like a plant medicine.
I've tried it
before. What was your experience like?
It made me fall asleep. Oh no, you gotta try the sativa brand. You gotta try this kind, this strain.
Sativa.
Whatever.
Sativa.
What is it called?
I love it. Sativa.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so much.
Try the CBD. I tried them all. None of them worked. They all make me tired.
Yeah, you don't need it then. Yeah. Like your body doesn't need that. And I think also there's a huge like problem with it too, because I think people say weed's not addictive. Everyone's addicted here. They're like weed is addictive in my point of view.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of this stuff. So when we were growing up, we had something called DARE class. I don't know if you had that. It was like drug resistance class or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
And the unit with marijuana and heroin was in the same unit.
Oh, what?
So when I grew up, I assumed like, oh, marijuana and heroin, like those are like this on the same category, right? And then of course you grow up and then everybody realizes like, okay, marijuana isn't like that bad for you, right?
Yeah.
But then the problem is because we were like tricked into thinking that this is like this crazy drug and you're going to like die if you have it twice. Then everybody's like, yeah, fuck this. Weed is actually good for you.
Yeah.
No. There's a middle ground where like it's definitely not good for you.
Yeah, I mean, smoking anything is bad for you.
Yeah, like in the same way, like, okay, like sugar's bad for you.
Right.
But yeah, like we have sugar sometimes.
Moderation.
Moderation, yeah. And vapes is the worst with this where
so bad.
Like they're better for you than cigarettes, yes. But when people are like, oh, like people don't even try to quit because they're just like, oh yeah, who cares? And they just vape all day long. And I'm like, dude, that shit is not good for you.
No. And like they don't think about what else is in the liquid that's in there. Like there's a lot of other stuff that's in there, and all of the heavy metals and things that you're inhaling, like it's a battery, it has a coil, and it literally like it's metal. So if you just keep smoking that thing, like it'll be blinking, and I see people like it's dead, dude, like stop hitting it, and people will just keep going. And I feel like also it's one equals like a pack of cigarettes, right? That's what they say, like one, or that was a Juul.
I didn't realize that.
Juul pod. One Juul pod is an entire pack of cigarettes.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize how addicting they were until one of my friends one time. We're in this apartment, like on like the 6th floor.
Yeah.
The Uber's here. We go down to the Uber. We're waiting there. Uber comes. And I'm like, okay, let's go. He's like, oh, wait, I forgot my vape. We're like, dude, the Uber's here. You're going to have to go all the way back up, walk down the fucking hallway, get your vape, all the way back down.
Yeah.
We're just like, let's just go.
Yeah.
He's like, no, bro, like, I got to get my vape. And I was like, oh, shit, you're hooked on this thing. Like
your little baby bottle, adult pacifier.
That's literally what it is. I'm going to start telling people that.
So
that's hilarious.
bad. Because then when you say that, it's like, it is. Like, it's literally this thing that you, like, it's like an appendage. Like, you can't not have it with you. And, like, you're just always, like, sucking on this thing. It's so stupid.
Especially if you're a dude and you're just constantly just fucking sucking on
this
something.
Colored, flavored, like it is so unattractive. Like it is. I also have had my moments. Like I've had my moments where, you know, I like know a lot of people in music and I have a lot of friends in music and everyone's doing it there. And eventually you were like, oh, can I hit it? Like, can I hit it? And then eventually before you know it, you're in the freaking smoke shop and you're buying one of them. And the second that happened to me, I was like, no, this is now that I'm here and I'm buying one myself. This is a really big problem. Like I cannot be doing this. And I hate vices. Like I will not do vices when they're unhealthy like that. And so, yeah, that's when I was like, this is not happening anymore. I'm not getting this.
Yeah. One of our friends was like, I'm quitting vapes. And she's like, threw her vapes away, made this whole thing. And then like for the next week, every single night, she's like, oh, can I hit your vape? Can I hit your vape? I'm like, okay, you're still vaping just because you don't own
quitting.
a vape. Like, you're doing the same shit that you always do.
Yeah, I definitely had to call myself out for that too. Like, I had to say, because I would be like, but I'm not buying one. But it was like, I'm still hitting other people's. Like, I might as well buy one. Like, at this point, you know? I keep asking my friend next to me if I can hit her vape. Like, it's basically like it's my own at that point. But that's all an ego thing, for sure.
How old are you? You're very confusing.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm 26.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just turned 26. Happy birthday to me. It was Aquarius season. It's not anymore, though.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Because you seem like mid-30s in personality.
I've gotten
but
that
then you look
so
like
many
you're like
times.
22. So it's like I'm like, do we
Wow,
talk about
really?
like investing or like doing Molly at Disneyland? Like,
Oh my God.
confusing.
I literally love to talk about everything under the sun. But since I was little, people have been like, you're like, when I was 14, people were like, you're for sure 21. Or like, I had my little self-sabotage era where I was going out to like frat parties when I was like 15 years old. And people believed me. They were like, you're 23 for sure. And I don't know why they believed me. Like, I was such a naive person. But even at that time, I guess I was just like more aware, or I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe I've lived a lot of lives. I don't know.
Do you believe in that kind of thing, reincarnation?
Yeah.
Karma, manifestation?
Yes. I don't know about reincarnation. I hope. That would be cool. Like, I would love to be a butterfly in the next life.
What? A butterfly?
I feel like it
How
would just
boring would a butterfly's life be?
Okay, actually, fuck yeah. I want to be like a black cougar. Like, I want to be like a puma or something like that.
I want to come back as a dude again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I want to be a dude.
I want to come back as a white straight male. Hopefully
Okay.
Pisces too, so I can maximize my privilege level.
Wait, what are you?
Pisces.
Oh, you are?
The best
Wait,
sign,
when's
yeah.
your birthday?
March 18th.
Oh my gosh, it's coming up. Everyone wish him a happy birthday right now in the comment section.
I actually hate the Pisces characteristic. So I identify as an Aries, which is my rising.
Wait, that's my rising.
Let's go.
Hey, fuck yeah. I
knew
feel
I
like
liked
I
you for
love
some
that.
reason.
Okay, I relate to you too. That's really nice.
Because Pisces are known as like the crybaby sign. It's like,
Which is the interesting part about why you're like, I never cry.
I'm literally the opposite of like a Pisces personality.
Yeah. What's your moon sign? Do you know?
Wait, is moon and rising the same thing?
Your rising is like how people perceive you and how you represent to the world. Your
that makes
moon is your emotional.
No idea.
You're like, I don't.
Probably like Leo.
Yeah? Okay.
If I had to guess.
I could kind of see that, I feel like, actually.
How's your manifestation going? Have you manifested anything?
I feel like I've literally, my whole life is one big synchronicity, especially right now. I don't know if you've noticed. Do you believe in this?
I believe in it, that it only works for hot girls.
What? Really?
Yes.
But how do you explain all this?
This?
How do you explain all
Hard
this?
work for fucking a decade. That's how I explain it.
I think there definitely is something to be said about that. Like, you can't just be like, I'm sitting here in my apartment and I'm journaling and I'm manifesting everything I want in the world. Like, you have to do the work.
If you're a hot girl, you can do that.
I've
seen
Really?
hot girls manifest the craziest. They'll
Like
be like
what?
this. Watch. Tulum, Tulum. All of a sudden, DM, they're in Tulum.
Tulum.
Private jet. Some fucking dude DMs them private. It's crazy.
Okay,
hot girls
that's
can manifest
different.
it. If you're
That's
an ugly
different.
person,
That's
$1 million.
But then that's not manifestation. Like, that is just using your looks to get things from other people. And like, yeah, I've had those opportunities in my life, but I have never done that stuff. Like, that's not what I consider to manifest. Like, to manifest is to manifest, like, you can manifest anything, yes, but for me, I only focus on manifesting like my career, my dreams, my like who I want to be in my final form, like what does that look like, and who's around me, and like who respects my art, and all of that stuff. Not like I'm manifesting a yacht, like I'm manifesting a trip to Tulum, like no.
No, these girls are powerful manifestors. The most powerful ever.
Well,
But
go
only if
off,
you're hot.
Queens.
Only if they're hot.
Go off, Queens.
And you have
I
to have
love
a
that
good
for you.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They're like, but how many followers do you have? It's like, throw up.
What is okay? So when people describe manifestation, there's two things. There's like, okay, I have a goal, I take the steps needed, and then I reach my goal. Some people describe it as that, and some people describe it as, I'm thinking about things and I'm putting it out to the universe, and then the universe gives me opportunities. Which, or do you think it's both?
For me, I feel like it's mostly visualization, and I am like definitely a writer. I love to write things down. I just like to journal and I like to write things down. But I think that there's something about putting yourself in that position that you already want to be. So I believe in surrounding yourself with the types of people that you like are a step in the direction that you want to be around. Like, also just really visualizing, like sitting and meditating and doing deep breathing and visualizing, getting your brain to the point to where it feels like it's real already. And I think, for example, I started visualizing like certain people reaching out to me, certain people finding my work, certain people that I respected finding my work. And I was really sitting on that, but it also took me working on a film, putting myself in that position to produce a film and do the work, like actually doing it. The second that started happening and I started posting about that stuff, all of those people started finding me. So I think it's a mixed bag. Like, you can't just sit back and be like, everything is coming to me because I'm visualizing it. Like, you have to take the steps and do the work too.
Yeah, but that's my theory, is that's the only thing you need to do.
Yeah, but if you don't believe in yourself, like if you let yourself go to that low vibrational place to where maybe you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and maybe you're doing it because like you feel insecure, or maybe you're just posting content because you think it's on trend and it's not authentic, it's not coming from an authentic point of view, or you don't have a purpose in doing it, those things won't pop off. Like, I feel like I've spiritually seen that. People, or they will.
Disagree with you.
You do? They will.
Yes.
Like, if somebody, for example, copies somebody else's work, like if somebody posts a video on TikTok and it goes viral and somebody copies it and just does the same exact thing. I just saw that happen the other day where people called this person out. And he kind of got canceled for it. He was like, it was verbatim the same video. And he just did it for views. And yeah, he got the views, but all of the comments were awful. Like, nobody respected it. People got the ick.
But he still got the views.
He got the views, but does that really matter enough to you? Like, I guess you have to kind of take a step back and say, am I in it for the views and the clout, or am I in it for the art or the final goal? Like, for me, it's winning an Oscar. Like, I want to win an Oscar.
Okay.
And that's my goal. And what can I do? What work can I do along the way to get me there? Not like how many views. The views will come if you're making authentic art.
I mean, I suppose it depends what your goal is. If your goal is to get views and make money off TikTok.
Yeah, go off.
There's a lot of actually, are you aware of Mr. Beast?
Yeah, oh yeah, I love him.
So there's probably 50 channels now that just literally copy his shit.
I've seen that.
It'll be the exact same video. Like, they even say the same words. It's like they took his script, but these videos blow up. They still work. It's like they still work. It's like they just copy the script and,
But in the end of the day, they have to go to sleep at night knowing that they didn't come up with anything and that they're not a creative.
The dark side of the force is more powerful than the light
guess.
side.
I just hope and pray that those people that do that don't actually have long-term success. Like, they might have short-term success in the dopamine hits of all the views. But then at the end of the day, they think to themselves, oh, what's my next idea? Oh, let me just go look at Mr. Beast's channel and I can just become a robot and just completely copy that. Like, that would never make me feel fulfilled.
Maybe.
If they're happy, they're happy. But I'm not going to choose to live my life like that.
Do you ever feel like the fact that you're unwilling to tap into the kind of negative energy, do you ever feel like it puts you a step behind compared to people who are willing to do the things that are morally ambiguous?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I've definitely been there. Like, I've had the thoughts. I've seen the trends. People have even sent things to me and been like, you should do something like this. Like, if you just, for example, a lot of people want me to do the funny acting skits on TikTok and Instagram and the things that are silly and funny. And I have always kind of been against it because I feel like I am a serious actor and I want to be recognized for being a serious actor and a serious director and having specific themes within my work that are consistent. And I feel like perusing on TikTok, consuming all of these other people's content, yeah, I see that they're popping off. Good for you. I'm so happy for you. But for me, in the long term, that doesn't align. And so I teeter-totter on that. And I just continue to make the work that I feel like speaks to me, which is usually longer form content, not as trendy, not as, easily consumable because it's longer. And the attention span now that people have is so small.
It is interesting because, so when I built up my YouTube channel for piano, which is how I make most of my money, I make a living basically having online piano lessons where I teach people how to play piano. And then there's the free course, the premium version, right?
Cool.
And when I was building my audience, I would always go above and beyond and not just say, oh, easy trick to play your favorite song, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes my titles would say that, but then when you watch the video, it's
you get so much more.
It's here's what you do. Here's the practice strategy you use. Here's why you're not going to learn it fast. Here's how to get hands together. And bolt in all this stuff that a lot of people thought was boring and they would click off the video. And so at first my views grew very slowly, but then you develop real fans because it's people that want the quality and they don't care about the quick win.
Yes.
And then it's a slower way, but then once you're at the top,
it's crazy.
There's this moat there that people can't compete with because it's oh no, this is going to take you 5 years. Have fun.
Yeah, I feel like
start
you
now.
did that. So you kind of are taking the same approach that you took the same approach that I am taking. And are you happy you did that?
Yes, but I also threw in some dark side tactics too.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like I definitely look at my competitors and I don't copy their videos, but I definitely steal their ideas for sure.
What?
Yes. But I think that's the reality is every idea we've ever come up with in our life is a stolen idea.
I agree.
Like nobody, like teaching piano has been
that's
Beethoven
not
days,
stealing somebody's idea. I mean, I feel like you're right about the collective experience, and I think that everybody has had the same thoughts. Like, I'm writing a script and my ego hates the fact that somebody could also be telling the exact same story that I'm telling, and it's so personal to me, but that's also just a part of life. And I feel like if you're copying something verbatim, like word for word, that's a lot different than being like, oh, this person did this song and like, I'm a pianist as well, I want to do this song too. Like, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely levels to it for sure.
Totally.
Interesting. What is your next on your future plans?
Oh my gosh. Well, I had a meeting last March with MGM, and I was like, holy moly. I got called in for a general meeting. That never happens to people. Like, this producer had been following me for a while, and they wanted to meet me in real life and see any scripts that I had. I was working on this one script for myself for free therapy when I was like 19 years old because I couldn't afford therapy. And I was writing about things that had happened to me. And I was like, no one's ever going to see this. So this is not for anyone's eyes. This is just for me. And nobody can know that I'm not okay. That's not going to happen. And basically, when I got called in, I was like, dang, now's the time. Like, this is the only thing that I have. Like, what a weird synchronicity. I go in, I pitch the project. He loved it. And it's basically now I'm finishing the pilot, and these next series that I'm working on, I'm taking them back to MGM, but we're also going to shop around multiple production companies and see who feels right, since it's such a personal story to me. But these next couple of trailers are going to be each character's like character development. So they're all going to be, we're like in pre-production, and I'm casting for it now, and it's crazy to cast people based on people you already know, or like cast people based on your family members.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's gonna be beautiful. Like, I'm so excited for these projects, and I'm so excited to tell this story now. I feel like confident because so many people have had this same exact experience, and I wish that there was a movie or a TV show I could have watched back then that would have resonated with me, and I would have seen it and been like, wow, I feel less alone in this. And I just want to be that for other people now.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking.
I bet, yeah.
It's like a long process, and I'm not a writer really. Like, my experience is in acting and directing, so writing this pilot has been the most challenging thing I've ever done.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, hey, pressure makes diamonds.
That's so real. I love that. That's beautiful.
Awesome, Olivia. Well, we're about out of time.
That's crazy.
I know.
How did it go
Hour
by so
flies
fast?
by fast.
An hour?
We'll have to do round 2 sometime.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I would love to. Thank you for having me.
I got a few rapid fire questions for you to end off
gosh.
the podcast. Favorite food?
Caprese salad.
A what?
A caprese salad.
Oh, caprese salad. Got it. Any restaurants around here that have a really good?
I feel like I really had a good one in like Paris. I feel like not the quality of the tomato, the quality of the mozzarella, the olive oil. It's just better in Europe, you know.
When I went to Europe, I didn't feel the food was better. I just felt like the same food that you can get at like a really nice restaurant with really good food here would be like $20 on the corner of some street.
Yeah,
whereas
I
like
agree.
here you have to go to like a nice place with like good chefs and everything.
Yes.
There's just like every single restaurant
It's
is
all
like that.
good. Like you know it's going to be good because
Yeah.
it's all of the local goods.
Yeah,
They just and their soil is so nutrient dense and all of that.
And they don't stuff their food with human growth hormone
Yeah.
and shit.
I hate it here. I'm literally like farmers market girly. Like shop farmers markets, please.
Favorite first date spot or activity?
I feel like a really cool kind of like ballsy thing to do would be to like go dancing. Like I feel like taking a girl to go dancing just shows that you are like ready to have a good time, have a silly time, and also like not be so serious about it, but it also just gives you the ability to like be close to the person you're with and like physically do something together. I also feel like maybe like a hike, you know, would be cute first date, like a really pretty hike.
With that one.
Why?
That's how you end up on one of those shows.
Oh my gosh,
Looking
real.
for the body of Alivia for the last 48 hours.
So
Helicopters.
Scary. That's so scary.
But
yeah.
I do like hikes.
Yeah.
In terms of, for some reason, I don't enjoy hiking. But for some reason, hiking, you get onto like deeper conversations. For some reason, then like a lunch date, like sitting across. Like,
yeah, that feels so weird.
It
feel
does.
like.
I agree. And for some reason, especially for like lunch.
Yeah.
Like, I've done that before, like coffee date. It just, I don't know. The vibe feels
like
weird.
This feels like a meeting.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Or like an interview. And you're like, I just want to let loose. I feel like there's something about moving your body and like doing something that takes the pressure off of like the conversation and makes it flow.
Yeah. All right, next travel destination you haven't been to that you want to go.
I really want to go to Bali.
You haven't been to Bali?
No. I know, right?
Hot girl. You have to go to Tulum, Bali. Those are like the first two.
I really want to go to
Mykonos.
Bali. I know.
St. Bart's.
Mykonos would be dope. I've heard like, I really want to do, I think I'm going to Portugal this summer and like going to do Croatia. And that's going to be beautiful. But I want to go to Bali and I just want to do yoga every second of the day. And I just want to like be in the sun and be in the water, you know?
Makes sense.
What about you?
Asia, probably South Korea.
Ooh.
I like going
Asia.
places where I meet people in LA from those places.
I love Asia.
Because then you can connect with people from
Oh,
those
that's
places.
real, actually. Yeah, I feel like people, I've heard of Japan. I've never been to Japan. Have you been to Japan?
No, I haven't.
I've heard it's the most insane, like the best trip of anybody's life.
Everybody says Japan is very different. We're like, you go to Europe and it's like, the culture is different. I'm like, not really.
Right.
It's
It's
just people
still
have
very
accents. Like,
similar.
but it's the same shit, and like
Yeah.
the buildings are older, but like it's
Yeah.
the same shit. Whereas like Japan, everybody's, or like, I love South America. I've been there like 5,
I
6
love
times.
Colombia.
Colombia, Brazil, Argentina.
I love it.
Those are
I
my
need to go to
favorites.
Brazil.
I
Wait,
go there all the
stop.
time,
Do you go to Colombia a lot?
Yeah.
Really? I want to go back. I love Medellin.
Medellin's my favorite.
Oh my God. The people are so fucking cool.
Yeah. I've been to Medellin, and then I learned a salsa dance in Cali.
Oh, cool. Wait, that sounds fun.
But I want to go to Cartagena too. I've never been to Cartagena.
I went there and it was so beautiful. Like I actually almost fell off of I almost like died.
Oh Jesus.
Story
Like
for
a
another
cliff.
time. Yeah, it was a little bit having a little fun. And I was on one of those little motorcycles and I decided to take it up on top of the platform, which is like there's no fence around the platform. It's just this platform. And I was trying to take photos and be a stupid little fucking bitch, and I almost drove myself off of the fucking platform. And I literally fainted because I was so scared. I just fainted. My body was like, whoa. Yeah. But Cartagena was great.
Have you been to Bogota?
No. I've been to.
I would not recommend it.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm going
It's
to Colombia,
kinda mid.
I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
stick with Medellin and
Medellin is like where it is at.
Yeah, for
Did you go to the I'm gonna butcher this, but it's like the island de Rosario?
No.
It's like in the middle of the ocean. You can take a teeny tiny plane from Cartagena to go there, and like they have limited water supply. But I went there and we would put in our lunch order and it would be like, okay, cool. Now we're going to go catch the fish. They would go catch the fish. It would be like the most fresh fish I've ever had. And then this coconut rice that they would make was like, it was like religious, like best experience. And you just come out of the water, get a coconut, like, oh my God, you got to go there.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
check it out.
great.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Where can people find you if they want to reach out?
My Instagram is @Alivia, ALIVIA, and my YouTube is Alivia Levy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.